हरे कृष्णा। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवों की जय। We are in the fourth chapter of Bhagwat Gita as it is. And today we are going to study the verse number 16. So let us first recite the shloka. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayopyatra मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यत् ज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे अशुभात्। किं कर्म किम अकर्मेति कवयोप्यत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यत् ज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे अशुभात्। Kim, what is? Karma, action. Kim, what is? Akarma, inaction. Iti, thus. Kavayah, the intelligent. Api, also. Atra, in this matter. Mohitaha, bewildered. Tat, that. Te, unto you. Karma, work. Pravakshyami, I will explain. Yat, which, gyatva, knowing, mokshase, be liberated, ashubhat, from all ill fortune. Krishna is telling to Arjun that even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Kavayopyatra mohitah kim karma kim akarmeti. So now I shall explain to you what action is, and knowing which you shall be liberated from all sins. Tatte karma pravakshyami yat gyatva mokshase ashubhat. So this shlok is very, very important for us because Krishna is telling us that the most intelligent, they also get bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. So now let us read the purport of Srila Prabhupada and try to understand this shloka as it was spoken by Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that each one of us are bound to do our actions, and we cannot be even for a second without doing any action. Prabhupada says breathing, sleeping, standing, or looking at something, eating, anything, these are all actions, and we are all doing such actions all the time. So this is for sure that none of us can ever be without doing any action. Then it becomes all the more important to know about actions and its consequences. In the previous verse, Krishna told Arjun to follow the footsteps of all the liberated souls who performed all their prescribed duties, being in Krishna consciousness. Now, this seems quite interesting that why are these people called liberated souls? And the answer is this, that these people were completely Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious means having the knowledge that who is Krishna and who am I and what is my relationship with Krishna. And having this clear concept, these people would do every duty in their life only to please Krishna and not for their own sense gratification, or in simple language we can say sense enjoyment. And all these people are certainly the liberated souls. Krishna, in the very beginning of this chapter, said that he gave the knowledge of Bhagwat Gita first to Vivaswan, who is the ruler of the sun planet. And Vivaswan gave it to his son, and Manu gave the same knowledge to his son Ikshvaku. in whose dynasty Lord Rama appeared in Treta Yuga. By this, we can very well understand the history of Bhagavad Gita, and the most important thing, that the sun god Vivaswan was the first disciple of Krishna, and this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was given to all the Kshatriyas, as Kshatriyas are meant to rule effectively and to set a tradition of Guru Shishya Parampara, which is known as taking the knowledge from a bona fide Guru who is in the disciplic order. Now, coming to the present verse, Srila Prabhupada says that unless one fully surrendered to his spiritual master, he cannot become Krishna conscious. And without becoming Krishna conscious, one cannot be liberated from all the sins. Prabhupada says that Krishna had already once given the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Vivaswan. Then why he gave the same knowledge to Arjun again? It is for the reason that Krishna realized that somewhere the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita got distorted. So he himself came to give the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. And this is why when anyone follows the footsteps of Arjun, one will certainly not be bewildered. Therefore, one has to follow the footsteps of the previous authorities in the line of disciplic succession. Otherwise, even the most intelligent men will be bewildered regarding the standard actions of Krishna consciousness. For this reason, Krishna decided to instruct Arjun in Krishna consciousness directly. And because of direct instructions of the Lord to Krishna, anyone who follows the footsteps of Arjun is certainly not to be bewildered. Otherwise, to understand dharma by one's own contemplation and imperfect experimental knowledge is too difficult and rather impossible. Srila Prabhupada says that the principles of dharma can be laid down only by the Lord Himself. Dharmam hi sakshat Bhagwat pranitam. Prabhupada says that no one can manufacture a religious principle by imperfect speculations, and one must follow in the footsteps of the great authorities like Brahma, Shiv, Narad, Manu, Kumar, Kapil, Prahlad, Bhishma, Shukdev Goswami, Yamraj, Janak, and many, many more. So, by mental speculation, one cannot understand or say one cannot ascertain what is religion or what is self realization. Therefore, out of causeless mercy of his devotees, for his devotees, Krishna explains directly to Arjun what is action and what is inaction. Only action performed in Krishna consciousness can deliver a person from the entanglement of material existence. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna was with Arjun in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But not once did he tell Arjun to sit down and that he will do Arjun's work of fight. Krishna could have easily done the work of Arjun, but he insisted Arjun to fight. But how he has to fight, this Krishna was guiding him. Krishna gave him the example of King Janak, who was a liberated soul and did not want anything from this material world. But still, he did all his duties as a king, as a husband, and as a father, only to set an example in front of his people. King Janak was Videha. Videha means one who is beyond the level of bodily concept, which means that one who does not indulge in any kind of sense gratification, but does everything only for the pleasure of Lord. Prabhupada gives us another excellent example of King Parikshit, who, when came to know that he has only 1 week left with him, he immediately left everything and went to the banks of Ganga and sat in front of Shukdev Maharaj to listen to the Bhagwat Katha. Parikshit Maharaj is a perfect example of complete detachment. He was the king of the entire world, Chakravarti Samrat. But not once he thought, what will happen to this kingdom? This is exactly what Krishna is teaching to Arjun, how to work without getting attached to the work and to the result of the work. Krishna in verse number 14 says, Namam karmani limpanti, name karma phale spriha, iti mam yo abhijanati, karma bhinnah sabadhyate. Krishna is telling to Arjun that Arjun, there is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. And one who understands this truth about me will also not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of his work. Srila Prabhupada is telling us that Krishna is teaching Arjun by his own example that how he does all the work but is never attached either with the work or with the result of the work. And this is the secret of liberation from all kinds of sinful reactions. Krishna created the entire creation, which is bound by the three modes of material nature. But he himself is beyond the three modes because while creating the material nature, he did not want anything from his creation. Prabhupada says that Krishna is the storehouse of all beauty, riches, wealth, strength, power, intelligence, fame, and detachment. He being the permanent reservoir of everything, why will he want anything from this material world which is temporary? Same goes for us also. We are the part and parcel of Krishna. We are same in quality with Krishna, but different in quantity. Krishna is the ocean and we are just a drop. That is only the difference between us and Krishna. Now, we being the spirit soul, which is his part, have nothing to do with anything which is in this material world. We have just to do our prescribed duties according to our varnashram dharma and by following the footsteps of Arjun, because Arjun got the direct instructions from Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that it is the causeless mercy of Krishna that he himself gave the instructions to Arjun, and all the instructions given to Arjun is actually meant for us. And when Krishna is personally guiding us, then if we don't take his guidance, then this is the greatest sin. Krishna gave us Bhagwat Gita and also sent Srila Prabhupada to explain to us every word of it as it is so that we understand what Krishna wants us to do. And when we think deeply about it, then we understand that it is for our good only. Krishna wants us to be liberated because being entangled in the action and the result binds us to this material world, which has repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. And Krishna, being our permanent parent, is unable to see us in pain and distress. To conclude today's verse, Srila Prabhupada states a beautiful shloka from Bhagavatam. man nibittam kritam papam api dharmay kalpate mam anadrit dharmapi papah syat mat prabhavatah. Krishna says, man nimittam kritam. It means that if some sinful activity is also done for my sake, it becomes api dharmay kalpate. It means it becomes the greatest dharma. Then Krishna says, mam anadritya. It means that if someone disrespects me and does dharma api, which means that he does all the righteous work, then it becomes papah syat, which means it becomes the greatest sin. Now Krishna is going to explain how does it become the greatest sin. Mat prabhavatah. It becomes the greatest sin by my powers. Mat prabhavatah, which means by my powers. So it is absolutely loud and clear that if we do as we are directed in Bhagwat Gita and by following the footsteps of Arjun, then it is the greatest dharma. And in contrary to it, if we disrespect and don't care to read and understand the instructions given in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna himself and don't follow the footsteps of Arjun and continue doing the so-called good work according to our own thinking, then Krishna has said that it is the greatest sin. Srila Prabhupada says that Arjun was asked to fight and kill his enemies in the battlefield by Krishna's order. But did he become a sinful man? No. He is the most pious man because he did everything for the pleasure of Krishna and was liberated from all kinds of bondage of sinful reactions. I am sure we have properly understood what we should do and what we should not. The simple thing that Prabhupada says that we must have complete faith in Krishna. That when Krishna is saying he is going to teach us what is action and what is inaction, then we must have complete faith and we must not try to understand and do our work by our own mental speculation. Now, in the next shlok, Krishna is going to explain to us in much detail because this is a very complicated subject and Krishna has himself said that the most intelligent people, they are also bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. So stay connected with me to listen to Krishna, and till then, just keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I thank Srila Prabhupada for making us understand the most secretive knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in most easy manner. And I thank my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Hari Mohan Prabhuji, who helps me to understand the purports of Srila Prabhupada. And I thank each one of you for patiently listening to the Bhagavad Gita shloks. Now we shall meet next week. Till then, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.